So we don't need all these fools, because what we are witnessing right now in the party ZANU-PF, idiocy and foolishness has run amok. It has run amok because no one can sit down and sensibly counsel other members to behave accordingly. One wonders what the Chitepo College of Ideology is doing when we have such rogue elements who are very polarizing. Zimbabwe is already a polarized country, and it needs a leadership which can bring national unity and cohesion so that we chart the way forward. Now we have a polarizing administration under Idi Mnangagwa. And this is typical of all nationalist politicians. Their politics was based on identity politics. One identifies himself with the tribe, with the region where they come from, in order to generate power. This started well before independence. It happened because of these national politicians. It was not practiced by war veterans. They knew they were only Zimbabweans, and they never bothered to know where one came from. But the politicians at the top, they were always arranging themselves in such a manner. Their politics was a tribal, ethnic-based, regional, so that they can have power. And they believe that to have power in independent Zimbabwe, you must be supported by your people. I don't know what they meant by their people. If you are a Mofu, then go for Mofus. If you are Soko, go for Sokos. If you are Ziva, go for Zivas. Do those clans make Zimbabwe? Do those clans make Zimbabwe? This is the problem that this country faced. So you see the remnants of these nationalist politicians, they practice exactly the same culture of ethnic, tribal, regional identity politics. Mugabe, when he started in 1980, there was a reasonably fair ethnic balance in his cabinet. These Ngwenas, the so-called Mnangagwa, the Gawi, he is a lizard, he's not a crocodile. He's a lizard. He is actually doing exactly playing the Mugabe template. There is no difference there. In the closing stages of the Mugabe's reign, there was a Zuluization project where you see the dominance of the Zulus in influential positions, including the government, diplomatic services, CSOs, state-controlled organizations. And as a result of that, it didn't go down well with others. When G40 was formed within ZANU-PF, believe me, the truth was that it was more or less as a Zulu project pioneered by the youth within the ruling party. And this actually led to a reaction by others within the party, and they came up with their counterbalance, the Lacoste. The Lacoste was generally a Karanga. It was generally a Karanga in response to a Zulu outfit called G40. This is the politics. Now, you see, when you have identity politicians polarizing the nation on a tribal or ethnic line, they are a threat to national security.
Right. This is quite very, very deep and very, very powerful. I decided to let the video go on and on because it is just answering that nationalists like Mugabe and Mnangagwa promoted ethnicity and nepotistic behavior in the nation. And that is, I think, very true. It's to remember even last time, family, that they also spoke about these nationalists who were in the prisons and the like. With Mnangagwa, of course, his history about prison really being very vague, looking like he was not really in prison. They are claiming that these war veterans are claiming that Mnangagwa was actually in a intelligence school at Kami, which was run by the CIO or Central whatever intelligence of Douglas Smith, and they came to hijack the struggle. That's why they came to get rid of Tongogara, get rid of Chitepo, so they can be taking over themselves. And after they took over, they came and they started to implement their own strategies, their own philosophy, their own mentality, which was different from what the war veterans wanted. So it's really a very, very sensitive issue that we are talking about here, which we may want to continue looking into because it really explains quite a lot about Emmerson Mnangagwa, Robert Mugabe, and what we are seeing Zimbabwe becoming today at the hands of Emmerson Mnangagwa. So generally speaking, it seems that the issue of being dishonest and being crooks is not started today with Mnangagwa. Has been with that ever since his time back then with Mugabe, ever since the time of the Rhodesia. Mnangagwa has never been honest. He has been very dishonest, just doing things to trick other people, just to pull others down and trying to make himself, the trickster of everyone. But this is now getting at a certain point where it seems now it's coming back to haunt Mnangagwa. It seems now Mnangagwa is being haunted by what he has started on his own. And this is the result of his nepotism and ethnicity and his, dishonesty in doing things and the corruption that is centered on individuals that are benefiting while the rest of the people have been sidelined. But that remains now the main issue now that is bringing people again together to stand against him, fight against him, pull him down. And now he is crying foul. We can hear many people now that are supporting Mnangagwa saying that he's being disrespected. People do not want to respect the president. And you can't respect a man who is not respecting the masses. He must respect the masses of Zimbabwe. He must respect the voice of the Zimbabwe, which is on that constitution first, before he can talk about him being respected or disrespected. If he disrespects the voice of the Zimbabwean people, then he does not deserve to be respected by anybody, even a little child, because you have shown yourself that you don't respect Zimbabwe, and that is the truth. So these bootlickers of Mnangagwa must just shut up and not tell anybody that they are disrespecting Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa has disrespected himself, and he is just receiving the fair share of what he has planted. This is his time to reap, and let him go down. Let the fight continue. God is with us. God is in it, and freedom is coming for Zimbabwe.